Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Mykie. Mykie is from England in the UK. So let's see what Mike has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Mykie, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, how was your day today?
It's been good. I haven't really got up to a lot today, but I am making a pie later on. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh, wow. And what's going to be the pie? What the flavor?
it's a fish pie. It's my first time doing it, so new recipe.
That's amazing. Oh my God. I feel a bit hungry now because of that. And tell me where you're from, Mykie.
I'm from Southend in the UK.
Wow. Born and raised?
No, I was born in London. I moved to Southend when I was about 9, so I've lived here most of my life now.
I see. So tell me
Mm.
something interesting about your town where you live right now.
Well, it's a coastal city, so it's really close to the beach. We've also got our own theme park as well, so that's a really cool, unique thing about it.
Oh, wow. And since you left London, do you spend some time in London as well or not? Most of the time you are there.
I try to visit when I can, but I don't get a lot of time away from my studies and work, so
I see. And what do you do for work, for living?
I'm an artist.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your career.
Um, oh, not really sure what there is to say about it, to be honest. I mainly live off of kind of commission work, and I do multidisciplinary pieces, a lot of like collages and paintings. So
Oh, oh, wow.
um, I've been doing that for about a year now, so I'm getting kind of deep into it.
Right. And you mentioned that you are studying as well right now.
I also study art as well. I study fine art.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's great. And tell me, so far, what do you like the most about being an artist?
There's a lot of freedom. You get to work your own hours, do what you want, what you love. And yeah, there's a saying, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
hmm
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or maybe something that not many people know about you.
oh, I always struggle when people ask me to say something interesting about myself. But in terms of like an interesting thing about myself, I'm autistic. I'm a trans man, and I'm also a very political person. I'm very interested in politics,
I,
and I explore a lot of politics within my artworks as well.
my God, you gave a lot of interesting things right now. You see, there's always something interesting. That's amazing. Oh, wow. Great. Okay, Mike, you're ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Absolutely.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend of wonderful questions. So what I'm going
hmm
to do, I'm just going to play a song just first to relax before the first question. Okay?
Yep, sure.
Amazing. Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Of course.
Amazing. Okay, first question is, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
Oh, my first kiss. My first kiss. I think I had my first kiss quite early on in life. I was about 8, I think, and there was this person that I had a massive crush on, and we slipped away from our parents to go on like a little walk through the park,
Oh,
and I was really nervous, but um, I just suddenly kissed him whilst we were sitting on a bench. I just turned and did it, and it was the most awkward thing of my life, but that was also my first kiss with another boy. I'm a gay man, so that was a very kind of defining point in my life. It was my
Uh-huh.
first experience with that, and I don't think I would really be who I am today if I hadn't had those early experiences. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And so when you think about your childhood memories, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
the day that I got my pet cat Hendrix, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I absolutely adore my cat so much.
Oh, and how old is Henry? Henry, you
He's
said?
9. Hendrix, yeah,
Hendrix. So he's
yeah,
9 year old.
yeah. He's getting on a bit now. He's quite old for a cat.
Oh, and so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your cat, from Hendrix?
Um, how to treat others, how to care for something that's more vulnerable than you and needs you to care for it. And I like to apply what he's taught me to the way I interact with other people as well. I always, I, I pride myself on being a kind person and trying to help where I can.
I see. Oh, very sweet. Cool. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Mike. Next question for you is: who is your biggest hero?
Oh, that's not really something I've ever thought about before, to be honest. There
Or
are a lot of artists that I really enjoy and that I feel like they really inspire me. And I suppose you could say that they're my heroes in that way.
sure.
Especially artists like Kevin Bacon, if you know him. He's, no, sorry, not Kevin Bacon, Francis Bacon.
Okay.
Um, he does a lot of um, contemporary paintings and I really enjoy them. They really inspire me and the way he uses form and color. So, yeah.
I see. And tell me something that you've learned through his art. That's something about it, his art that you feel very fascinated about. What's something about it?
It's the kind of themes that he tackles with his art, and they're
Mhm.
quite dark, broody themes, but the way he brings light to them and kind of makes them more digestible for the public, that really appeals to me.
I
Kind of
see.
destigmatizes these themes.
I see. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of being an artist? Since we start our studies, since you've been for the last 2 years, you've been practicing, practicing your art. So tell me what's the biggest joy of it?
Being able to make a difference to people's lives, really.
Mhm.
I'm quite a small artist. I mean, as I say, I've only been doing this for a year, but I have had some people, especially friends and family, who have told me that my art really does make a difference to them. It makes them feel happy, evokes emotion. So I really do love it when people tell me that I've touched them with my art.
Wow. And so far, what has been the most challenging part for you, do you think, in your opinion? Be an artist.
Um, Trying to make it work financially. It's not great sector to be in with your only source of income. So it's very, uh, like I say, it's commission based. So sometimes there are slower months where you don't really earn much, and they're obviously quite a struggle. But there are some good months where it really kicks in, and yeah, you make it work.
Totally. And for you, do you have like a schedule for you to do your art, or you just go with the flow, you feel inspired? How does it work for you?
I mainly just go with the flow. For commission pieces, I try to get those done within a few weeks because people don't like to wait too long. But if I'm doing just kind of pieces for myself that I'm selling, then I don't like to put a time constraint on myself. I just kind of
Mhm.
work at it as I feel the influence and the inspiration.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what makes you the saddest?
Oh, the state of the world at the minute makes me quite sad, to be honest, with everything that's going on with wars and politically. That does really bring me down because I am very politically invested and I get quite emotionally invested in it. So yeah.
As you mentioned before as well, that you are outspoken, you love to discuss politics and like to raise your voice regarding that.
Mhm.
You always been this way, and why is that? Why do you think you have this personality of being outspoken regarding that?
For a lot of my life, I struggled with anxiety, and I still do to an extent. So it's very important for me to push myself to be outspoken and speak up about the things that I care about. And that's what politics did for me. It really opened up this pathway where I didn't have to worry about the way I looked, how I sounded. I could just stand up for the things that mattered because that was a bigger cause to me than my anxiety.
I see. And you always been this way?
For most of my life, yeah, I started getting into politics at around age 14, so been
Wow.
6 years now.
Wow. And tell me some, and the opposite of the question, what makes you the happiest?
Probably my friends and family. I do really value my loved ones, and I'm very grateful for them. They've helped me through a lot of hard times, so they're my kind of support system.
And which person in your life right now you feel more connect with or more close to?
Probably my best friend. She's living quite far away now because she moved for uni, so I don't really get to see her much anymore. But she's been there with me from childhood, so we have this really deep, interconnected bond, and she does
Oh.
bring me a lot of joy.
Okay, so your best friend, she's watching this interview right now and you have a moment and opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
I would tell her that I love her and I'm really proud of how far that she's come.
Oh, beautiful. Next question. Let's do it.
Yep,
You like dancing?
I do. I do. Not
Amazing.
very good at it.
I think dance, there are no rules. You just need to feel the music and move yourself without any, that's how I see it.
Mhm.
Next question is, who do you count the most for help?
Um, Also probably my best friend. Same again. I mean, and she's been there with me through everything, through bad financial situations, bad relationships. So I really feel like I can count on her no matter what has gone wrong.
And so tell me, how did your path cross for the first time?
We were about 10, and it was the induction day for our secondary school. And we just kind of started talking to each other. We were both kind of loners and both kind of separate. And I walked over to her and asked her about the book she was reading because I love to read. And we struck up a conversation about that, and it's just been from there ever since. And we've seen
Wow.
each other almost every day, apart from the last year since she's moved away.
And how often do you talk over the phone?
Um, about weekly, sometimes multiple times a week if we can. So yeah, we do like to keep up the contact.
And what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Oh, biggest difference. Okay. I'm very emotionally driven, and I feel like she's a lot more kind of intellectually driven. Like she won't let her heart lead her. She'll always go with the logical option. Me, I'm a lot more in my feelings. So, and as for the biggest similarity, we're both very reserved a lot of the time. And we've both had to kind of fight to be more outspoken. So that's something that we have kind of done together as a journey.
I see. So she's outspoken as well regarding politics. Very
Yeah.
outspoken. Amazing. Very great. And sometimes you crush sometimes with different opinion, or most of the time you have the same opinion.
Most of the time it's the same opinion, but I feel like I can be a bit more extreme than her in certain aspects, so that's where we definitely clash.
And who wins in the end when you crush?
Oh, I always win. Always me.
It's not fair. She's not here to defend herself. It's not fair. I'm joking. Sweet. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, lovely question. What does love mean to you?
I think for me it depends. Love has many different kind of forms. There's romantic, there's familial, there's all different types. I think for me, love overall just means being able to go to someone and know that they'll have your back regardless of like the reason you need them to. They'll always be there for you, they'll always support you, uplift you. and you obviously do the same for them. So yeah.
Tell me the very first time when love hit you that you felt like, okay, now I know what it feels like, about love. It doesn't need to be a romantic love, could be, this feeling of love that you go like, ouch, I feel it. There was a moment that you felt for the first time, if you can
Yeah.
share.
I think I was about 15, and it was with the person I was in a relationship with at the time. And we went out to this little reservoir, and it was a bit stupid, really. We got a kebab and chips and just sat there
Oh,
listening
oh,
to music. So
oh, sweet.
not really the most romantic setting, but I remember just feeling this absolutely almost crushing sense of love for her. So yeah.
I totally understand. I think this, it's so strong that it hits you in a way that you feel like paralyzed. You feel like, my God, such a great feeling. And sometimes it can
Mm,
hurt as well. I think love, it can hurt a lot as well. But I think,
mm,
it's a beautiful feeling. I think love, it's a when you feel it, you just go like, wow, now I understand what's the meaning of it. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
it can go different directions as well. I'm sure you love your cat like in such a beautiful way that you love your friends. All of them, they are different loves, but they come from this beautiful place for sure.
Mm, yeah.
Crazy.
I think that's another thing that signifies love to me as well. It's taking the risk of being hurt and loving that person anyway.
I like that. That's so true. Absolutely. Two questions left. Let's do it. So my question for you is, being a trans man, tell me, how has been for you? Do you feel like, do you had the support of your family, loved ones, people around you, or do you think that it's being more challenged than you thought?
It's been good in the sense that I've had a lot of support from my family and friends, but it has been quite challenging because obviously being in the UK, there's been a lot of bills and laws lately that have restricted certain rights. Um, and obviously it takes years to wait on the NHS to receive care for trans people.
Mhm.
So a lot of my transition I've had to get privately. So even my like hormones, I do that privately, which is very expensive. So, it has been quite a challenge.
And tell me the moments. There was a moment in your life that you realized. I know you're very young, but there was a moment in your life that you realized that you are a trans man. There was a moment, or you always knew it?
Yes, I realised when I was 13 that I was a trans man, but I didn't come out until I was 15 because I was kind of scared of the reaction that my parents would have. So there was quite a bit of wait between knowing and actually telling anyone else.
I see. And when was the moment that you came out? Did something happen? You just felt like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna be my truly self and share with my loved ones. Did something happen or not?
Um, it was kind of morbid in a sense, really, because I was in quite a deep state of depression during then.
Hmm.
And it got to the point where I didn't really think I could carry on without telling anyone. So it reached a breaking point, and I ended up writing my mother a letter that I gave to her the morning before I left for school. And I sped out the door so fast, like I handed it to her and just went running. So, yeah.
Oh wow! And after the reaction, their support it came straight away. Their support regarding that.
Absolutely, yeah. They very supported everyone, my friends included.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think it makes a difference for us to know that our loved ones are ours by our side. You know what I mean? You feel strong, you feel can be your truly self because they got your back. I think that's the best part for
Hmm.
sure. Because a lot of people out there they don't have the same privilege. You know what I mean? Some people they literally for different reasons they cannot have the support, and I think it must be really really hard to go to go through their journey for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next question is, if you could meet yourself when you were 15 years old again, which advice would you give to yourself at the time?
I think I would tell myself that it's going to be okay. It will get better one day, and you'll get to become the man that you know you are, that you should be. And you'll be surrounded by loads of friends, loads of family, a loving relationship, and everything that's wrong right now, but we'll work out.
Wow. Saying that, what's the biggest joy of being Mykie? What do you like the most about being you?
I like my personality. I like who I am as a person. I'm very glad that I'm, a good person. I don't want to sound kind of big-headed, but you know,
Sweet. I think you're right. You don't need to be modest, shy saying that. But I think when you feel like you are a good person, you feel like and you are. So I think that's beautiful. Amazing.
yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question for you is, what do you consider most romantic?
I've got kind of two answers in mind. I've got the kind of stereotypical romantic dinner, go to a nice fancy restaurant. But I also like going to kind of naturey, kind of secluded areas. That can be quite romantic, especially like kind of evening or nighttime when it's just getting a little bit dark. And yeah, that's definitely up there.
And do you consider yourself to be a romantic person?
I try to be. I don't think I always execute it very well. I can be a little bit awkward sometimes. So I think my type of romance is very kind of cheesy romance.
I see. Okay. 2 questions left. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so before the next question, being an artist, you mentioned about the positive sides, the negative side of it as well, the challenges. But the place, your town, your city, where you live, do you think it's a place where you can, expose your art? Do you see some opportunities there as well? Or do you think that you need to go to other places to somehow, connect with other people?
I think where I live, it's limiting for artists because it's a coastal town and there's not much that actually goes into the kind of art community here. It all goes into tourist attractions. So for me, I'm actually planning to move sometime next year. I'm not sure where though. I'm between Nottingham, Brighton, and Bristol, so got a few options in mind. But they're definitely more art-centered places. There's a lot of galleries around, a lot of opportunities. So yeah.
Okay. Next question is, what does family mean to you?
I think family is less about a kind of blood relation for me, and it's more about the family that you choose, the people that show up for you, that support you. Um, it's just where you feel like you belong, you know. They make you feel loved unconditionally, like you can just totally be yourself with no kind of restrictions on that. So,
Saying that, what's the meaning of life for you?
oh, meaning of life. Do what you love, be kind to everyone and yourself. That's very important. And try not to hurt anyone throughout your life, throughout their life. Just be a kind, loving person. Treat people how you would want to be treated.
Totally agree. Amazing. Last question, ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go. There you go. I got some more moves of you in the end.
Yeah.
Before the last question, I'm going to ask a question 2 parts. The first part of the question is, tell me, of course, you have some of your arts, you still work on them, but tell me one of them that for you, so far it's, you get closer to your heart. Could be for any reason, a piece of your art that, for some reason you feel very connect with, or there is a story behind, or there is something that you choose to be, the one so far.
There's actually a piece that I did recently. It was a mixed media piece. So it was partly digital, partly done by hand, and it explores kind of the inner workings of the human mind and how that connects to who we are emotionally. Yeah, that was probably my favorite piece. It means a lot to me. I put a lot of love and effort into that, and it kind of reflects my personality.
And how long did it take for you to get all together?
It took me about 2 weeks, which is one of my shorter pieces, so not a lot went into it, but I feel like that kind of sums me up. Like, I'm not too complicated, but there's still a lot you can read into.
I see. Okay. Last question for you is, how describe a perfect, healthy relationship?
Hmm. Someone that supports you and makes you happy and regularly checks in that you're doing okay. Because I think a lot of people, when they've been together for a long time, they get kind of complacent and they stop checking in, they stop going out for dates. So I think it's really important that you keep a relationship alive and thriving.
Yes, I agree. I think relationship, it's a maintenance every single day. And I think,
Hmm.
as you mentioned, the maintenance gets a bit more, you need to be more aware and more, you need to focus more the longest it gets, because the
Yeah,
maintenance becomes a different way of you to maintain that. And I totally agree. You need to make it always as something new. Like when you start, it's like a honeymoon. Honeymoon is to be forever, the honeymoon, not just the beginning, but it's like,
yeah.
for all through the relationship. I agree. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Hmm.
Let's start with money,
Struggle,
family,
love.
fear,
Sorry, could you repeat that?
fear,
Anxiety,
life,
fun,
religion,
complicated,
love,
Poppy, which is the name of my
politics.
best friend.
Oh, sweet. Politics,
Not sure about that one. Fighting.
I was so expecting to see your word relate to that, because I know you are so into it. I was expecting to see. I love it. Friendship,
Solidarity.
beautiful. Desire,
More.
regret,
Past.
success,
Finances.
wish,
Love.
happiness.
Friends.
One word for England.
One word for England, did you say?
Yeah, one word for England. Yeah,
Um, Shambles.
I like that. One word for artist.
Expression.
And the last one now, if you could put all your arts together and define in one word what that would be.
Fragmented.
Beautiful. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend, the one you just mentioned right now, for a coffee. And I'm going to ask, define Mykie in one positive and one negative word only. What your best friend would say about you.
For negative, she'd almost definitely say stubborn. And for positive, she'd probably say supportive.
Wow, amazing. Let's play now, Mykie, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. Okay, but before the last question, people watching this interview right now, people are like very young, like you. Maybe they know that they are a trans person, and for some reason, they feel like they don't have support, or they don't know who to talk to. They feel like they are, they are not maybe having some support for them to be the truly self. What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Keep fighting and reach out to people, be it friends, family, even just random other trans people that you know. Just never bottle everything up, because that's where it all goes downhill and you start to feel very isolated and alone. So always try and have a support system and never forget that it will always get better.
Amazing. I love that. I think you're totally right. And nowadays with social media, you can see, so many communities, like the trans community, they're so huge, and a lot of people express themselves there. There's always someone that you can reach out and have a talk, have a discussion, or ask some questions. And I think people, they love that. And I had so many trans people here on the show, and they, they always mention that, William, you need to, as you said, you need to talk, you need to express, because it's your truly self. You need to, you need to support yourself. You need to find a way to live your best, your truly self, your life. So I totally understand your point. Amazing.
I think for me, coming out as trans was an act of self-love. It was allowing myself to have that freedom and live my life.
Totally. And it's not even a choice, it's a survivor. It's about being you. It's, it's expressed who you are. You know what I mean? Totally.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask me a question now, Mykie.
If there was one ultimate, all-ending piece of life advice you could give someone, what would that be?
Wow, what a big question. I love the question. And actually, it's going to be related to our conversation we just had right now. What I believe is, I know, I'm so aware that, we, sometimes, or most of the times, we sometimes cannot be our truly self. We cannot, for some reason, there's some voice out there that can be very loud. And I think sometimes it's hard. It's not easy. And I always embrace here on the show for us to be ourselves, or try to be ourselves, because the thing is, being yourself, you're going to attract the right people around you. The wrong people would go, you know what I mean? And I think that would be my advice for you. Even though sometimes it's hard, it's difficult, but try to express the most you can about being your truly self, because that's you, that's your, it's your genuine self. And I always say that my piece of advice would be, don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be scared to be yourself. I know sometimes it can be difficult and hard as well, but try, and trust me. I think, for example, the meaning of success for me, it's about you being your truly self. I think for me, this is success, because you can be the person you truly are. So I think the best piece of advice I can give to anyone, I think that would be this one: be your truly self. Even knowing that sometimes it's difficult, it's not easy sometimes, but try to be your truly self, because you're gonna live authentic life. People's gonna appreciate that as well. And as you said, you're gonna feel free, you're gonna feel the best yourself. And of course, you're gonna have up and downs like life as well we have. But I think that will be, I know it's very simple advice, but I think it's very powerful to be your truly self. It's something very unique and different, and you just need to be, and feel so good and weird, being weird or being different. I think it feels amazing. I love being different. I love when I can express myself in a way that maybe other people find strange, or find, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others, I think you can be your truly self, and that's the beauty of it, for sure. Yeah, that's my
Absolutely.
answer.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Did you like the interview, Mykie?
I loved it. Thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful, and I am really grateful for this opportunity. I
Thanks
love
again.
that you do this even. It's amazing. I've never met someone that interviews just entirely random people,
Yeah,
giving, strangers a voice.
totally. And I think that's the what I like the most about the show, is about people, coming to the show, express themselves without any judgments. I think that's the beauty of the show. Thanks again. Since when I talked to you for the first time, you were being very kind, very sweet. And here we are, we just made memories.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks again. Thanks for being so open as well, and to express your truly self. And I think people, they find it very inspiring. Seeing someone so young, my God, you're so young, and you have this beautiful mindset. So carry on with your journey and your arts as well. I wish you all the best. And I'm sure, trust me, the way you approach life is just the way to go. And I'm sure you're going to be very successful with your arts. Keep going, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Yeah, I actually wrote this one down specifically. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's from the TV show Doctor Who. It was never be cruel, never be cowardly, always try to be nice, but never fail to be kind.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks again. Regards to your best friends, to your family and friends, and keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay? Have a good night.
You
Okay?
you too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.